Trailer for sale or rent. Rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no...
The Settlers of Catan is a game for 3 to 4 players, which takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. Players build settlements on the intersections of hexagonal resource spaces. Each hex has a number representing a dice roll. On each turn, the dice are rolled, and whoever is lucky enough to have settled adjacent to a hex with the same number will get that resource. If a 7 is rolled, the thief comes out to steal from those with too many resources and renders a resource hex to be unproductive. Players can openly trade resources with others on their turn. Resources can be used to build roads or settlements, upgrade settlements to cities, or to buy bonus cards like the knights, who can trigger the thief. Settlements and cities are worth points, as well as longest road and largest army of knights. The first 1 to 10 points is the winner. Carcassonne is a game for 2 to 5 players, which takes about 45 minutes to play. Players lay tiles to grow roads, cities, farms, and cloisters around churches. They can also place one of their meeples on the tile they placed to take possession of that which they would like to complete. The larger they make the road or city they have a meeple on, the more points they score. The cloister scores when all tile spaces around the church have been placed, and the farms score at the end of the game. After all of the tiles have been placed, final scoring is totaled, and the player with the most victory points is the winner.
But I get asked all the time,
Which is better?
how they compare,
Oh, how they compare.
Catan and Carcassonne.
Right.
Well, they're totally different.
Yeah, they're completely different games.
Catan has got a huge trading element, which
It's
is,
far more interactive.
I think that's what people like about it the most, is the open trading. So you can go after whoever's in the lead and not trade with them.
Well, there's, I think, even more basic than that, there's the familiarity of a die roll, right? Every turn you roll a die, and people are used to that being part of the game. I think that helps.
But there's no die roll in Carcassonne.
No, there isn't. Funny that you should mention that.
It's almost as popular.
Is it really? Like, do as many people come from, like, just Monopoly and the Game of Life and that sort of thing to Carcassonne as they
No,
do
it's
to Catan?
Catan, Carcassonne.
See, now that makes sense to me. This is just a little too abstract. I mean, not that it's an abstract game, but I think it's the thing that makes this as popular as it is that it has aspects that are familiar. Even in Monopoly, you have a trading aspect, right? You can trade properties and stuff. So this touches a lot of points that other games that we're used to, that have been in our culture for a long, long time have. And I think that's what makes it so familiar to people and makes them so comfortable to play it. Whereas this one, it doesn't. It's a weird one.
Then how come it's like the second most biggest seller?
Because it's simple. I think it's simple enough. And once people see this,
because there's other games that are similar to this.
True. Yeah.
They aren't as popular as Carcassonne.
Yeah, I've never really understood the popularity of Carcassonne, actually, myself. I don't think it's a bad game, but I just don't understand why it's as popular as it is.
Well, Catan
I understand. Catan, I think, is an excellent...
has really good replayability.
Yeah. Catan's got all sorts of things going for it, and I think, like I said, the familiarity, and it's got the trading.
I think a lot of people don't like the dice rolling.
Yeah, but is that people that are new to games, or is that people that have played Settlers to death and have moved on to things like Carcassonne and then moved on and on and on to other things?
Yeah, it's seasoned gamers.
Yeah.
The more seasoned gamers like pure strategy.
Usually, yeah. But I mean, I've been playing.
And then they find a good luck or a good dice rolling game, and they find it refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. I still like Settlers. I've played it hundreds of times. Same as Carcassonne, actually, and I would much prefer to play Settlers.
I think the big difference is resource management, area control.
I think the big difference.
Trading, a little bit of dice rolling.
You're in this one. You're trying to build in an odd way an economic engine, right? You're trying to get your settlements out on tiles that will produce resources so that every turn you can build something new, and you're trying to make this little engine that chugs along. Whereas Carcassonne, you're randomly laying down tiles that affect you and other people, and hoping to draw the tile that you need. And
Well, you don't have to randomly draw tiles. You can put out like 3 and take.
Yeah, but that's different though. That's you're changing the way the rules are written.
Oh, really? It's pretty popular. I mean, there's a lot of games like that where you can.
Yeah, the house rules. Yeah, no, I think there are house rules that definitely help improve this game a lot, make it more strategic. But playing just by the basic rules for both of these.
I mean, besides Carcassonne, you're gonna have. You got what 6 guys you can put out. You're gonna have. Half a dozen maybe different things are going on the board. It's not like you're looking for one tile.
No, true. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's a good game, and it's got a lot going for it. I just prefer settlers. So
I think the big, another big difference is you need 3 or 4 to play this.
True, whereas this can play with 2.
Carcassonne plays just as well with 2 as it does with 6. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So that's that's one of the biggest differences.
It is definitely more flexible as far as player numbers go.
I mean, people do play Catan with 2, but it's terrible.
Yeah, I can't see how that would work.
Well, again, the open trading is maybe the funnest aspect of it.
Yeah, with 2 players, really what it would come down to with 2 players is whoever rolls the best. Whoever rolls their resources the best would win.
Or whoever picks the best spot.
Well, that's what I mean. Whichever die, even if you pick a bad spot, if the die comes up.
I think the law of averages, though.
Well, from over 100 games, yes, it'll average out. But in a single game, you definitely can have games. I've had games where I'm on 6s and 8s and nothing but 3s and 5s come up.
That's
it's
rare. That's
yes,
rare,
it
though.
is
I mean,
rare. Absolutely.
If you get a good spot,
generally
you
you
can,
will do well.
Chances are you'll win.
Not guaranteed, but generally.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is a flaw in the game.
Which is a flaw in the game.
Yeah.
Why? It's not random enough.
No, because if you randomly put out the tiles, if you're lucky enough to go first and get the primo spot,
it has a balancing for that, in the fact that it does have the ports, right? And you want to try to grab the port. You have to be able to look at the game. And
I think the
see
big balancing element is
trading. Yeah.
Whoever's winning, you don't trade with them.
Well, see,
The chances are they're winning because they got that good spot.
Yeah, I've won games without
So you
trading
have
at
to
all.
trade.
I've just sat there and turtled and still won. But yeah, that's actually, I think in some ways the trading can be one of the weaknesses of this game, because if you have somebody who's very experienced and somebody who isn't, the experienced player can take advantage of the person who isn't experienced and get them to make trades that they really shouldn't have.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of people like about Carcassonne is that you can screw people over by, like you were saying, you want to get that one tile that can really make it or break it for you,
Mhm.
and then someone else gets it, or they get a different tile and put it in the spot that you want.
Right, like you have a night in a city and you're trying to close it off and someone just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding or the opposite.
Yeah, you want to get something going really big,
And someone just shuts it down.
shuts it down, or groups together 2 pastures
Right, for the farms at the end.
that maybe they have 2 guys on, and then
Yeah. But again, that all comes up. It's so luck. It's so in the luck of the tile that you draw.
I don't know if it's. I'd say they're both pretty equal with luck. And Catan, you can go. That's pretty average length, but Carcassonne's nice and short.
Yeah, Catan can drag if they spend too much time trading and they insist that they need more time to trade. They don't want to stop trading. That can be a problem.
But another good thing is that you can decrease the number of points or increase them.
Yeah,
If the
you
game's
can-
going
you can-
really fast,
yeah.
you can say, oh, we played to 12.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
Carcassonne, though, you feel the end coming, you can feel it in the bag.
yeah. And
It's
that's
nice and fast.
it is quite quick. Yeah, it's definite.
We
Finite.
play it, the way I play it is, as soon as you lay a tile, you take another tile from the bag.
So you have your.
So you can
have
plan
everybody
it.
else's turn.
You don't have to wait on.
No,
till
that
your
makes
turn.
sense.
And it almost literally cuts the game in half.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and it's already not that long of a game, so
Yeah.
that would be good.
But as far as what game I'd rather play, I'd always rather play Carcassonne.
Right?
Catan is. I've just seen too many people get to go first, get the awesome spot, and then they
Huh.
win it.
But then shouldn't that be up to the other players to then not to trade with them, or if they do trade with them, to make sure that
Well,
they're
like I was
getting-
saying, sometimes they're winning because they got that awesome spot, and like, if they're the only one who can get wood, then you have to trade with them.
I see what you're saying.
Whether you like, there's like a monopoly.
Right.
And Carcassonne, one of the other things I like about it is that you don't know who's going to win till the end, because then you do all the scoring. Whereas Catan, it's like I won and that's the game over. A good hidden scoring element is always gives you a little adrenaline boost at the end, whereas Catan, it's like...
Right. Yeah, see, I feel more in
Wow, it's
Carcassonne,
over.
it's almost random. It's like, well, I'm laying down tiles, and oh, who won? Wow, okay, that was fun. Let's do something
No way,
else.
it's pure strategy. I mean, it's luck getting the tile out, but it's where you put it is pure strategy.
Well, sometimes you have no choice but to put it in only one spot.
Very, very rare.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're watching and you're thinking, okay, I know exactly where the person's going to put this tile. And they put it somewhere ridiculous. And it's way more fun like that.
See, now I would say that Settlers is more of a thinking person's game, and Catan is more of a mindless activity. Sorry, Carcassonne is more of an...
Carcassonne's more thinking on your feet, whereas Catan's more work with what you got.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Settlers is more about managing, and Carcassonne is more about, what do I do now?
Carcassonne's a manly game.
That I would definitely not agree with.
Catan, lady's choice.
I'm not even sure what to say to that.
Exactly. When I first got Carcassonne, I liked it so much that I started getting the expansions.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it was a 3-hour game,
Right.
and what I liked originally was totally disappeared in the mire of all the rules and pieces. So that's when I got Hunters and Gatherers, and
They've distilled it
I
back
found
down
my
to...
original love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I never play that one, I always play Hunters and Gatherers.
Right.
For Catan, I think, should not go more than 4 players.
Definitely not. Should never go more than 4 players.
5 is maybe okay
No,
if everybody
no,
knows exactly what to
you're-
do.
No, anything over 4 I
6
think
is
a nightmare.
pretty brutal, yeah. Because well, you can build on everyone's turn,
Which I really don't like.
which yeah, it kind of
It
it loses something.
But it also really slows the game down, because every turn, everybody's trying to decide what they're going to do.
It makes it a bit too easy because a lot of the strategy is getting your hand whittled down
Yeah, absolutely.
and watching out for those thieves.
Yeah,
If you can build every turn, then
that's rarely a problem.
yeah.
This, you can definitely go younger, I think. You could have 6, 7-year-olds play this easily. Whereas this, I wouldn't play with anyone... Well, I mean, it depends on the
the
person,
kid.
obviously. But this, I think, is a harder game with more subtlety to it than this. I mean, this can have subtle strategies of, where you're going to place your
But
tile.
you can play this very passive.
You can be almost brain dead and play Carcassonne. Like, just get your tile and play it where it'll go. And, that's it. And you can have fun doing that. Whereas in Settlers, you have to a certain degree, at least know what you're doing. And otherwise, it's not going to be any fun at all. But if I'm just going to sit down with some people that like games, but they're not used to playing games, I would choose Settlers of Catan.